What's up, everybody? We are live at Lakithia NICOLE Talk. I am Lakithia NICOLE, and I have special guests with me, Shawn Perkins. Shawn, we have to get into your story, but first, before we start, you have to tell them a little bit about yourself, because I feel like I don't want to ruin just this resume is insane. So just a little brief before we get into the story of who you are.
Shawn Perkins. I'm born and raised here in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I've been Bed-Stuy all my life. I started out about 14. I started cutting hair, barbering, pretty much cutting hair in the neighborhood. And I took time to. There was an old barber in the neighborhood in Bedford-Stuyvesant on Sumner Avenue in Halsey. He used to cut. What's his name? The fighter, one of the professional fighters. I don't want to say his name, but he used to cut his hair. And I used to go there 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would just sit and watch him cut people's hair before he cut my hair. And I was just intrigued how I would see men sitting in a chair, and they would just look stressed. But by the time they leave, they're feeling good, they happy, like, oh yeah, my life together. So for me, that became something I wanted to experience. So one day my uncle brought home some clippers. I took the clippers, I started cutting my little brother hair, my cousins, then I cut my hair. After that, I was in high school at the time, so I took the clippers to school, and I started cutting my friends here. And Omar Epps and Marlon Waynes, they used to go to school with me. I went to performing arts. So I used to be in the back of school cutting these guys hair. And, I had a lot of practice, because I had a lot of friends in high school, so I was cutting every day, all day. And at that time, we were all dancing in the clubs, and I think it was Rock McDaniels and MC Search. They had those video clubs, video box back then. And they used to call us, they used to come to high school and search for people being a dancer in the video. So we used to go dancing and stuff. So that time, between me clubbing and stuff, I met a bunch of people in the music industry, and I started cutting some of the rappers' hair throughout the years. And I was in the music side. I used to work for Atlantic Records at the time when I got out of high school. So I was always in that music industry, and I was there for a few years. I left the music industry, started my own hair salon. And me and my partner at the time, Easy, we started out with Carl Thomas. He was one of our main clients. When he first came out with Emotional album, Bad Boy, that was us. We
2002,
Yeah, we started with Carl in, I think it was 98, 99 when we first started out with him. And rocked with him through the course of his first 2 albums. During that time, still running around cutting hair, trying to get the business up. I ventured off into real estate. Took off, did well with that for another 10 years. Then I jumped back into the hair business.
Oh, so you took some time away from the
I took
business.
off from the hair business. I still did it. You know, they would call me for, like, certain people call me to cut, but the real estate was another venture I jumped into, and I started buying homes and fixing up and renovating. I did that for a few years, which I still do now, but I think it was in 2007. I got a friend of mine called me to come in to Steiner Studios to do an actress, like me, catch an actor. I walked in, and so happened to with Don Cheadle.
That was your first client?
That was my first movie, Brooklyn's Finest.
Brooklyn's Finest?
Brooklyn's Finest.
With Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle and Wesley Snipes. And I cut Cheadle, Wesley, and a few other guys in the movie. And after that, I was like, that was my first time really on a movie set. I've been on video sets, but movie sets are different.
Yeah,
and I was like,
true.
Oh, this is crazy. And after I asked my friend, I was like, hey, I want to be a part of this. She was like, yeah, get you in.
Wow.
After that, I forgot. I think I did, the next movie was Salt. I think it was Salt with Angelina Jolie. I did that.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I need to get in the union. And, I got called again with Eddie Murphy for Tower Heist. I went and cut his hair for that movie, and that's when I got in the union. Once I got in the union, which I didn't even know about a hair union at the time,
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
They got me into local 798 union. Once I got in there, once I did Eddie Murphy, it was a wrap. Like, people started to know, okay, who's this guy? And I just started I met a lot of people in the industry, and they really helped as far as get me on different sets and films. And I've been doing it since. Like, I cut so many people here. I did majority, you see a lot of TV shows on NBC, Netflix.
Wow.
Just a bunch of movies. Then I started working with Spike. I did actually, was it Black Klansman? The movie got an Oscar, when I got nominated in LA.
What year was that?
Black Klansman we filmed in 2000. I think that was 18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 18.
So you recently got the Oscar. That's just a few years ago.
Yeah, I didn't get the Oscar. I got nominated for Best Hair for the.
So your Oscar nominee
yeah, for my movie got an Oscar. It was with actually Denzel's son, JD, John David, Denzel's son, Weston. That's who I cut. He was the lead star.
Wow.
So that was actually that was Spike's first Oscar. So for me, it was a big thing for me because that's a movie that I worked in, and I was actually the department head.
Oh, excellent.
I was a key of that department. So that and a few other movies. I did you name it, Batman, Dark Knight Rises. I've been working on a lot of movies throughout, but I'm just like a quiet storm. Let me go in, do what I do, show my craft, and keep moving. But one of the most important things that is important to me with what I've been doing over the years is being able to show a lot of our youth, especially the black males that are trying to find their way out here. You don't necessarily have to be in the forefront, you can be in the back, and still make decent salary. That's one of the things I've learned in this business. We're not average barbers. A barber in the film industry is making 6 figures.
Yes.
And that's straight up. You do 2-3 movies a year, you can guarantee yourself to make 6 figures. And most of the hairstylists in the industry are doing that, especially if they're ones that are doing multiple films. On average, we all would do, depending on what we're doing, maybe do 3 to 4 a year. But if we're on like a mini-series take a little longer.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Power. I did the Ghost. It was on Ghost for about 4 to 6 months.
So you're on Power. So in the beginning when it started out, or like?
No, to be honest with you, one of my good friends, Sharky, he started out with Power. And a few other barbers I know started out. I came into Power. I think I did the last episode of the last season 6. I did one episode there, but when they started Ghost, I did the first season of Ghost.
Oh,
first season of Ghost, and I did the first 4 to 5 episodes of Raising Kanan.
Excellent. So I wanna slow you down a bit because I feel like people can hear this and it sounds glamorous, right? It's does.
Not that glamorous.
But that's the thing, when you hear most people, they see this resume. You're saying Power. There's Oscars. There's Spike Lee. There's Raising Kanan. There's Omar Epps and Don Cheeto and was Brooklyn Finest. You hear this and you think, well, wow, I can do that, but then they think there's no struggle. And on this show, it's important that the people know that there is no glory without the story. And so what I want you to tell me is, like, was there struggle? Like, did you come in, contact with any struggle? Because for you, it sounds like you were just going, you're building just, highlight after highlight after highlight. What were some of your greatest struggles that you had to face in building your career as a celebrity barber on major film sets?
I think one of the real struggles for me, I can't really say I had struggles, to be honest with you, because I always believe, if you speak of it, it's going to happen. And for me, this was a dream. Most of the things I set goals, like for instance, when I first started cutting hair, I used to sit and look at the movies. I'm a movie buff. So I'll look at TV, and if you, just give an example, and you just think yourself, if you been watching movies from late 70s through the 80s, through the 90s, when you see a black man on TV, he didn't have a fade, he didn't have a nice hairline, he had a play-it-safe afro. It was a little nappy little afro, pat it down, there's nothing to it. So me, I'm born from Bed-Stuy, and we did fade, flat tops, and all that. So I'm like, why these guys doesn't look like people I see, black men I see? So this is a true story, I'm gonna tell you. For me, I've been around the entertainment industry for such a long time. It's been natural. My school, majority of my friends are either on TV, or there's some R&B singers. These are people that went to Performing Arts High School. I can give you a list of people that I know that you heard their music or you saw them on TV before. And for me, I think I'm just always hungry. Like today, I do a movie, but I'm going out and go do some real estate, some construction. So that hunger is always there for me. I think the most important thing for us to teach these kids is that don't study the glamour part.
Yeah.
Like for me, I went to my mentor, and the question you just said is exactly what it is. what are your hardships?
Yeah.
If I can understand your hardships, I got the blueprint of what not to do and what to do, you know?
Yeah.
So that's important for me. So like, I mentor a lot of kids now, especially junior high school. I go to junior high schools and I talk to kids and just give them insight to what we do. So I try to explain to them, listen, one of the most important things you need to do is get you a system or program where you can say, okay, these are the things I'm going after. And I tell kids, get involved with things on the necessity of the people, the human race itself, the human body itself. Like for instance, you know, hair is something that I'm not only a barber, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So I started out as barbering. But then in, I think it was in 2000, I was like, I just sat and I watched a friend of mine, she hairstylist, and I watched the type of money she makes, and I was like, oh, no. She clean up, you know, she used to tease me, my tips is your money. And I'm like, can we work in the salon together? And I was like, you know what? I think it's best that, she told me, she said, if you really want to make the real money, you're a hell of a good barber. But if you could also walk into a household, the daddy, the son, the grandson, the mama, the daughter, the grandmother, he said, think about it, if you walk into that one household, you take everyone's hair. You would never find yourself broke. So when she said it to me, I said, damn. I mean, I really started scratching my head, and I said, okay, you know what?
Wow.
I went up to cosmetology school, spent, 9 months in there, got my license, came out, and from there I started doing color. I was a colored specialist. I went to school for Weller, Veda, all that. And I'm an artist, so I paint. So coloring a woman's hair was like, I'm sitting there painting, you know, I'm having fun.
Oh, wow.
And,
So you do females as well?
Yeah, but I can do it, but I stick with men.
Okay.
You ladies, y'all got a lot of stuff to deal with. On set, all my friends that are stylists, they come with tons of stuff. I got one little bag, I come in, bing, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I like to be.
Oh, so you don't have to be on the set. That's what.
No, I do be on the set.
So you are there all day with the everyone else, because you know those set hours are the longest days ever.
Well, that's
get
when
into
you get
that.
the money.
Yes,
See,
the 14-hour days, the golden hours are the best, right?
The thing that people understand, that's something. It's funny because I just got about 4 or 5 barbers in the business, and these are guys that come from regular barbershops. And one of the things I told them, I said, listen, one of the most important things about this industry, it's not even about your skill set so much, because, you know, they are barbers, I know that, okay? But they're doing very well. It's also the set etiquette.
Yes.
Knowing how to get on set, not be starstruck over star.
Right.
And also learn how to come in, do your job efficiently, and pay attention, because it's all about detail.
Yes.
But set etiquette also, one of the most important things of being a stylist to the stars in film is continuity. Like for instance, I'm filming you right now, I'm your hairstylist. Say you and Bless, I got a scene where he kissed you and he sticks his hand in your hair.
Yeah.
Cut. Redo again.
Yeah.
They gotta come back.
They have
Last
to
looks.
come. Last looks.
I gotta make your hair look exactly what it. We're not gonna go and do a Tyler Perry situation where poof, and then they got your hair look
Crazy.
You know, we can't do that. So for me, it's like I sit and I pay attention to detail. Like we got scenes where men jogging, having a fight. We film a whole fight scene. He gets on the floor. He tussles. Hair's 30. I gotta make sure before when I cut him, take that picture all 4 sides, and I gotta stay like, okay, you know what? That's how he was for the fight scene. He goes land. He got dust and blood on him. Cut. Reshoot. Back at 1. When they come back, I gotta go make sure I get all that dust, that blood, everything out, and make him look the same way it was at point 1. They went from point 1 to 20. They gotta go back and do it again, and then at the same time, it's from a different vantage point.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
so true.
cameras shooting from 16-point views. We could sit on one scene and do that all day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot that they have to understand that you have to do. And these are the things that I share with the barbers I help get in the union, because there are a lot of barbers see what I do, like, Shawn, I want to get in. But then when I take them and show them what it is, they're like, yo, this is crazy. But then they don't understand the hours. Like, you don't do a lot of hair cutting. You come in 5 o'clock in the morning, you cut 3-4 actors. The rest of the time, you sitting on set. But it's a beautiful thing, because you got to think about also, you know, what job you can go to where you get fed 3 square, you get fed all day.
Yes, you get, especially
You
when
become
you're
a big
set.
elephant.
Listen, yes,
You get
I
fed all
love
day.
on set, and then you know you can get like I love because you can actually
Treats, snacks.
yes, and then you get the when we do our actual dinner, we can get our food prep how we want it, like you know all of that. So
You get a lot.
Yes, you get a lot. Like you said, you get fat on set.
You get
I
fed
miss
on
those
set.
days.
And at the same time, you know, the hours is long, but
The hours
you're getting paid well.
You getting paid.
You know, after 8 hours, it's time and a half, double time
Yes.
and a half. So
Yes.
you're not walking away with a cheesy check. Plain and
Right.
simple. And in the union right now, you know, your base salary, you're starting at $60 an hour. So just think about it. The money that everyone is making is good money, and you're not killing yourself. You just have
Right.
to deal with some BS. You know, it's catty and all that stuff, but for the most part, you go into
It's
the place,
easy, right?
you do your job, you're gonna be able to walk out there unscathed.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for 15 years. I'm good. I know everyone. Everyone know me. I stay to my business. I do what I do. I crack a joke here and there, but keep it professional. And also, you gotta keep in mind the producers and directors. They all paying attention. So when they see
are.
you following through and you understand how to help them to this movie to be something, they're gonna take heed and say, okay, hey, you know, I want you to come to your next one.
That's so good.
That's how it goes.
And people have to realize it's so important to always be professional because you don't know who's watching in this business. People
Everyone's
are always
watching.
watching. Yes.
Everyone's watching.
And I noticed too, like referral. You know, when you build a good name in this business, they'll refer you. People will call you. You'll get called on from left and right. You'll never, like you say, even miss. I noticed when I was working because it was the rapport that I built with people, and then I never had time where I was out of work because it's like when you build a good reputation, you're always professional. Like you've done it for so long, which we're going to talk about that because not many have a history as long as you have had in the business. You know, can you tell us what are some of the things you felt that have kept you, you know, working these top films? I mean, you just recently said, and we kind of skipped over it, but one of the biggest, you know, networks right now, and the biggest stars are all coming from Stars, and they're coming for Power, you know, the executive produced by 50 Cent. So you got to talk about like how do you get to that level? Because I'm sure so many people are like, I want to be on a 50 Cent film, especially because he's extremely popular right now. So what are some of the things you've done that, I mean, for yourself personally to get you, to keep you working, just like, you know, you stay on this grind, you keep it going, you know?
I think for me, and I share this with a lot of colleagues and friends, especially ones that even been in the business a few years and even longer, but some that are hitting little hurdles, it's also about how you carry yourself. People understand you always being under the microscope.
Yes.
Especially a person of color. You know, for me, being in this industry, I find a niche, a specialty that I can specialize in, where I do a lot of creating, like if you look at Raising Kanan, the brakes, those flat tops those guys are, I built those from scratch.
Wow.
So there's not a wig
incredible.
I'm taking here and building and then fading so it can look real.
And what you're talking about is because some of that part was like a bits of period pieces where they were.
I get called for a lot of period jobs.
Yeah.
That's one of my specialties. I started out cutting hair during the era of flat tops in 1987. So I put a mean fade and I put a mean flat top slope. That's just what I do. When it comes to that, the majority of people, the hair departments and the producers that know me is like, now if I'm gonna do period, let's call on Shawn because, and I'm efficient with it where I know how to get those looks. But I also create it. You can have a low haircut like mine, and if you go to my Instagram, you'll see literally videos of me building flat tops, dreadlocks, all that type of stuff. That's where you get creative in this business. People don't understand. That's what sells me. Because you can have a fun a barber anywhere, but find a barber that can come in and create a hair piece from scratch and do it less than 20 minutes so you can get up out of here and start filming. That's what I work on. But also another thing too I express is so deeply important. We have to get out of the CP time. Me, I know what you guys here. I was here 30 minutes sitting around the corner.
Yeah.
I'm always an hour early. Why? It gives me time to get on set my tools up, and I sit back and rack for 30 minutes. I do not being like being flustered on top of actors here.
Yes.
That killed me because that killed the moment. And then the actor feels that energy. So by the time the actor sits in my chair, I'm cool, calm, like, hey, how you doing, brother? How you doing, sister?
Yeah.
And then they respect that. And it's also the people understand energy is very important.
Yeah.
You come into the trailer. Sometimes I can sense, okay, this sister over here, she going through something. This brother over here. Me, I take my little position, I set up, hey, how you guys doing? And I get focused. And my focus is the weirdest dude out, I'm gonna lace him. When I take them pictures, I send it off, and they said, director, is this the look? Yeah. And then after that, take pictures. my continuity game, I'm gonna stay on it. I'm not allowing that hairline to tip, that flat top, everything is the same. That's all being observed.
Yeah.
UPM, director, producer, and the department head looking at it, like, okay, I like this work he's putting out. Those are the people that's gonna call me back. So what I do is I cultivate a relationship with the people that count because I want them to observe my work habit. And then when they see, if my call time is at 5 o'clock, I'm there at 4:30. So I'm not gonna show them, oh, you here early. So I love being early. I set up and I sit in the chair and I just wait. And I'm not boisterous, I keep to myself. I keep earbuds in my ear for the simple fact, I stay out of people's conversation. Because there's a lot of chattering that's unnecessary in the film industry and it leaves you. The trailer talk is crazy. So half the time I'm like, yeah, okay. I talk when I need to, but I keep to myself and people respect that.
Yeah.
And there's people that have been in there longer than me and come and be like, yeah, you know, I like your style. You know what? You know how not to get into it. And don't bring your personal business to the job.
Right.
Because everybody does that. And that's when things get crazy.
And that's where it definitely gets crazy. So let's talk about, I want you to, I definitely want to just highlight, I want you to tell me some of your experiences that you had working on, because as of right now, you know, everyone is glued to their television watching Stars. I mean, whether it's Raising Kanan now, or whether it's, what is it, the second one is Ghost, and then Force. And so I want you to tell me, how was your experience working on those sets? And do you have any interesting story that you could tell us that we can just be like, oh my God, like?
The experience was beautiful, simple fact. One.
And what show were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Ghost.
Ghost, okay.
And I've also say Raising Kanan. You know, when I first got into the industry, years ago, it was a little different. We didn't have that many black barbers. We have plenty of black hairstylists, but you know, sprinkles. So for me, getting in the industry, I worked with a lot of, when I first came in, the crews were predominantly white. You may have seen 4 or 5 black people, and I was like, wow. So for me being there, you know, a lot of times get in the industry and they get barbers, and you got to be careful with the labels of barber and hairstylist, because when they look at barber, like, oh, you. But I tell them, no, I got a cosmetology license. Let's get it straight. I'm a hairstylist, but I love men grooming. I can do all that, but I'm not gonna come and spend all my kick be 1,000 things. So I stick with what fits for me, and it allowed me to be able to move around and do my other love, real estate. You know what I'm saying? So most people that know me in the industry, like now Shawn, he's out there doing real estate and construction, so they understand where I'm at. But as far as working on these shows, the experience that I got was the beauty of seeing people of color making it happen. Like, I'm being honest with you, before I worked on Power, I was working with Spike. I started with Spike in 2017, and that was just, I worked for him any day. That man there, people understand Spike until you be around him and just actually really observe what he brought to the film industry for people of color.
Wow.
Not only for people of color, Italians, everyone. Like, he springboarded so many actors' career, it's unbelievable. Where I had a lot of guys that play on the Sopranos, the mafia dudes, they started with Spike. And I cut some of their hair, some of those guys here on Black Klansman. And those dudes sat and told me, if it wasn't for Spike, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Wow. And this is not a black person, this is an Italian white man. So I give him credit, but I also love him because that man on direct, we did that movie in damn near 30 days. It was like 30 something, it was less than 2 months.
That's quick.
A month.
For a movie?
And the movie got an Oscar.
Wow.
Explosion scenes, shootouts, everything. So just the way he moves, people, oh, Spike yells too much. But you know what? He yells because he brings order. I've been on $20 million sets, $25 million sets where I'm watching money being wasted every day because he was sitting around.
Yeah.
Spike, no, this is what it is, let's go.
That's important.
And I respect that because he moves at a capacity that's just like, it's unreal. But also just to see so many people come on set. I'm gonna be honest, the first time I started working on it, I was driving home one day and I teared up. I was like, this shit is, excuse my language, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Because I was like, I never seen that before for so many years.
Of working on these sets.
Yes, like prior to that, I never seen. Now, music industry is one thing.
Yeah.
But in the film, me getting in, you know, I worked on a lot of films that the back crew wasn't that much people of color. Like I said, it maybe sprinkles 4, 5, 2 or 3 grips here and there, but on his set, everyone is doing all aspects. And then when I went over to Power, I saw it also. And I was just like,
really?
Oh, wow. Yeah, and even some of the guys some of the cameramen, and these are the white fellas, the white guys that I know that are cool, they were also on Power with me too. So it was like a family thing. So a lot of people I knew, and then I met new people. So for me personally, I enjoy it. You get to learn a lot. You know, everything comes in nuances with far as, people.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to block that out. For me, I really focus on my craft and what I can bring to the table, because it's all team effort.
Yeah.
To get a film made, it's a team effort from everybody part. So for me, I come in, my goal is, and this is a rule that I made for myself. My goal is to make sure, I don't care if you're a background or you're the main actor, make sure everyone looks good in front of the camera. A lot of background actors know me, because at times where I have to go and supervise in the background. Oh yeah, I get in trouble all the time. They be like, "Yo, you're not supposed to cut them."
Oh, that's
He's
so
gonna,
nice.
if you cut the background, they gotta get extra. So and I shouldn't be saying this on camera, but I try to let these guys know, if you want to make it in this industry, you got to be very mindful of your character and your looks. You can't come in looking shabby or whatever.
Exactly.
Try to come in, if you can, go get a haircut. A lot of these guys come in, they expect a haircut, and we're not supposed to cut them unless they're principal or unless they're going to be in the camera. If not, they'll just sit there, throw some goop on you, and take you walk out. So it's just one of those situations where working with the Power team, they got a strong team. I know a lot of the people there I work with. I respect them, and they got something going. Like I take big ups to Courtney and 50 for the simple fact.
Courtney Kent?
Yes, they got a show that's taking off, and also they got different levels and expanding. That right there is big, because you see shows come and go, and each Power did 5-6 seasons. You got Ghost tipping in his third, Raising Kanan going in his second, Force is out now. They have another one with Lorenz Tate coming too, so it's a lot.
You're above, because I never heard about that.
Well, let's see where it goes, but that's what was told. So they have a whole segment. They're going to be around for a while, because they have, they got the writers. Yeah. Then plus they got the content, and that's the good thing.
That content is
They're
so
showing
important.
the content from different levels. Who would have known that this show would just break off into so many different streams? So
yeah, exactly. And you got history because you've worked on multiple.
Yeah, I worked on the last two. I didn't work on everything. I give credit to a lot of my friends that been before me. Like one of my good friends, shout out to Sharky. That's my boy. He's one of the other top barbers in the industry. I respect. When I came in, I got introduced to him, and funny, me and his birthday 2 days apart. Me and the boy, we just came in, became very cool, and I respect his work. He did 30 Rock. He did the whole 30 Rock. Sharky, look him up. Okay. Sharky Moody, he get busy. He's another barber that in the game I really respect, because there's a few of us and there's a few new ones coming in, and I respect them too. It's all about us getting together collectively and we're able to work together to make this happen. Because to be honest with you, if we don't stay tuned with what we're doing, other people will come in and take our position. So I try to make sure I grasp what I do, and hey, like I said, it's open for anyone to get in, but the most important part is you find a niche that you can work with and expand on. Yeah. And you go from there, because there's so many different things you do in this industry. And most importantly, we as people in this industry, we have to reach out and let people know what's there, because there's so much. It's so much makeup, hair, wardrobe. Good friends of mine, if we look at Power, I'm gonna give it to you what I do like about Power. Okay. Between the hair, the makeup, and then look at the wardrobe. Them boys is wearing. You see them on Ghost? Tough.
They do. Oh my goodness! If you think they dress them very well.
Woody?
Very well.
Woody? You peep what he wear? That boy wears some tough. All of them. They wear Mary Louis Vuitton. The gears on
That's
point.
Different.
Frank Fleming.
Because I don't think they do that on all the other sets where they dress you that well.
Well, what I would say this on Power from the start, and then for me just being a part of Ghost, I take my hat off to the guy Frank. He's the head of wardrobe costume. That dude is serious. Like, I worked with him on Ghost and then went to Raising Kanan. And Raising Kanan, you know, it's a period piece, so it's dealing with the 80s.
Yeah.
That was my time. That's where I was a fly dude. This dude had all the low life, which I know a bunch of polo low life dudes. He had the Jabos. He had all the gear that I rocked from the 80s when I was in high school. So for me, it was such a fulfilling to see this. I'm like, damn, that's my era. When I came out and started cutting, when I was dressing, we was gearing up the kid, and he was dead on. I mean, dead on point with what he's doing. So it was good to work on that show. I mean, I appreciate just having that on my resume.
Yeah.
And I tell any other barbers that go there, that are there, most of the guys I know that they're Johnny Blaze, he's been around for a minute. He's doing this thing too. He's actually on, he's been on Ghost, he's on Raising Kanan. Mike, there's a few guys on there, and they're blazing, they're doing their thing. So I big ups to all the barbers out there that's in the game, because, you know, we just got accepted in the union.
Oh, wow.
Barbers just got accepted this year.
Oh, my God.
Barbers was coming in, but you had to get Star requested. So Star had to request you in. But to be in the union, you're supposed to have a cosmetology license. That's why I got in, because I have my cosmetology license, but I let up with barbering. But a bunch of barbers just got in maybe last month, November, February. So it's been a big deal, because now they're welcoming barbers in, and they actually have barber classes starting up and everything. So I'm trying to get more barbers to see the potential, get into the industry, and make a name for themselves, because there's enough room for everybody.
Absolutely. Now, Shawn, I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but I want you to give some advice for new up-and-coming barbers that want to get in a position as you are in. You know, they want to be successful. They want to have the extensive resume. They want to have the years and, you know, the experience. What advice would you give some upcoming, you know, barbers?
I would say for the upcoming barbers that want to get into the industry, I would definitely tell them to go and look up Local 798. IATSE, that's the union I'm in. They look up that union, and they go to the website, IATSE Local 798. You can Google it. You'll see all the information on how to get into the union. And they give you a detailed specs and list. At the same time, they can reach out to me. Believe it or not, since I did Ghosts and Raising Kanan, right after the show go off, I'm getting calls from barbers. I got barbers from North Carolina, LA, everyone calling me like, yo, bro, I seen your work. How can I get in the union? So I shared the advice, and I told them, hey, give me a call, let me know what's up. I'll help you throughout the way, because it's nothing, you know. One of the things I feel in life, giving, you get so much back in return. And you can't look for what you, but I give out so much because I get so much back in return, and you'll see the benefit of the young brothers that come in and come up. I love to see cats start and grow and excel. And in this industry, come on in. We gotta take this joint where we need more players on the team. So yes, go to IATSE, Local 798, look it up, Google it, go in and give you all the details, your application and fees, but also at the same time, just make sure they have their license. Because there are a lot of barbers out here, and I used to be one of them back in the days until I had to go to school, I had to pay my 10 grand. You need to get your official documentation showing you're licensed by the state. Once you have that, at least now they tend to know you're serious because you took forth to get the education. Because barbering is not just about cutting or spraying Beijing. You do have to know the sanitizing and all the other aspects of it to be a good barber. But once again, once you get in, is also understand the set, because working in the film industry, you do have to understand how to work on set and understand continuity. Those are some things that me and a few of my barbers, we're looking to set up a course and class to teach the young cats that's coming in to understand the whole science of continuity and set etiquette, because if you don't have that, you're not going to last.
Oh my God, I think that would be so amazing if you do a course so that you can teach them. As you mentioned, you didn't say on camera, but you're saying you're looking to retire soon. That's a great way to keep it going, and people coming up underneath you where they can come in professional, you know, business minded. And then, as you mentioned, also a very important key you talked about was that a lot of people, their desire is to be in front of the camera, but as you mentioned, you don't have to be making six figures. You can come in, get behind the scenes as you did, working as a celebrity barber. You know, what I want to see, like, okay, because it's not. I don't think it's as easy as it was for you. You grew up with, like you said, Amar Epps and
Yeah, I grew up around the
know,
entertainment industry, so I had little steps ahead.
You had to cheat.
Doing music videos and all that. It allowed me to be around it.
Yeah.
But for the individuals that's just straight from Bed-Stuy,
straight
or
from
Bushwick,
Bed-Stuy, you know, anywhere around the world, trying to get into.
I would suggest, seek the information as far as going to, like, for instance, there's, if you're on the East Coast, it's local 798. If you're on the West Coast, it's local 7. Jeez, I can't remember that local, but it's 76 something. Okay. 709. That's for West Coast hairstyling. So what you need to do is go look up their website, get the information, data you want, and also, once again, if you guys are interested, you can always reach out to me. Fine. You can DM me at hashtag grooming by Shawn, and I can also do
hashtag. Now listen, we were looking for you because we did want to post you on. First I want to say I want you to, before we leave, to give out your Instagram because we didn't have it. We would definitely love to tag you and everything, so we can see your work on. You said hashtag. Is that Instagram or is that
it's
Facebook?
Instagram. It's
Instagram.
Instagram. Instagram grooming by Shawn.
Okay.
Shawn is SHAUN.
Okay.
You'll be able to see some of the things. I didn't even post a all of it, but I just had to be honest with you. My daughter just taught me Instagram a few years ago. So
okay.
You look at my page, it's everywhere. But for the most part, some of the shows, you'll see some of the work. And I'm about to revamp it because I have so many movies and TV shows that I did not put it there. Mm-hmm. When I tell people, like, you worked on that, I'm like, yeah. So I don't push a lot of my stuff out there. I keep it humble. Yeah. For me, a lot of that stuff, like, this has been a dream for me, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I always dreamed of looking at these TV shows, seeing these guys with these little nappy afros, and I was like, nah, if I was there, I'd give him a face. So when I touched Eddie, I blazed him. When I touched John Tito, matter of fact, true story, when I touched John, he had a regular little afro. And when we did Brooklyn Finest, Antoine Fuqua was like, so can you get that Brooklyn feel? And I was like, I'm from Brooklyn, of course. he was like, well, I want that Brooklyn feel. I want to look like Brooklyn. So I stood with Don. I said, hey, introduce myself. I was like, you mind if I give you a little tape or whatever? He's like, do what you want. I blazed him with a nice taper fade, taper neck, gave him a nice little lineup, and we waved him up. And if you look at the movie Brooklyn Finest, you see he had, that was, to me, I think that was the first one I ever seen with a fade.
Oh, wow.
Taper, because he always had the little afro, Hotel Rwanda. Yeah. So I never forget, I had to go, one day I had to go to his hotel room to cut his hair. And his wife, what's her name? I can't remember his wife's name. She was there, and she was like, so you're the guy that cut my husband's hair? And I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, you doing it right. Keep doing it. And he looked at me, he's like, well, my wife gave you the nod, so I'm going to rock with you.
Right.
And believe it or not, he rocked me for like 11 years.
Don Cheadle did?
Yes,
for
11 years.
Amazing.
Whenever he came to New York, he called me. He was like, listen, bro, I want you to come to New York. He said, I'm in New York, come in town. So I did a lot of press work for him. And he's just a good brother to work with, I enjoy working with him. He's actually one of the great actors of so many actors I work with. It's a lot.
Oh my goodness,
Very
he is
good
incredible.
Brother. Yeah, his list of work, top notch, what I mean? Denzel's my man, and Cheadle Foreign right behind him. Yeah. And a few other actors. I have a list of great actors that I always had dreams to work with, and I'm still pushing. Like, before I do retire, I'm going after certain, so I didn't get Denzel, but I got Denzel's son.
Who are some of the people that you do want to work with that you haven't worked with? We got to know that.
Let's see. I know one, I like a lot of old guys. Like, I would love to hit up, what's his name? He does the Verizon commercials.
I know who he's like. He was also in Waiting to Exhale?
No. Old time. What's his name?
He has a deep voice?
Deep voice.
He was in Waiting to Exhale. And he was also in Love and Basketball.
Wait.
He has the low hair.
Low hair, green eyes.
Oh, wait, no, his eyes aren't green. No, that's not.
I don't know why I can't remember this. But in any event, there's a few. I would like to work with Samuel Jackson, even though he doesn't have hair, but I would love to create a hair piece for him. Okay. Who else? The great Sidney Poitier just passed away. I would love to work with Sidney Poitier. That's alive and kicking now. Some of the people. I would like to work with, I worked with him once, but I didn't get to do his hair. I did his stunt double. What's the guy's name? little gray afro. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, I'm getting brain freeze.
No,
right
it
now.
happens.
There's pretty much, I'm working now with a lot of the young actors that's out, and I'm actually enjoying the young actors. I can see their careers elevate.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Cinquan Walls?
Right now, that doesn't ring the bell.
He actually was the guy that played 50 Cent's son of Power. Shawn, he was the one that played Shawn.
Okay.
I've been working with him a lot. Like this past summer, I worked in like 3 movies from May to September. He's a new upcoming actor that's doing his thing. So I'm enjoying the fact that I can work with a lot of these young actors because I'm watching their careers bubble.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I remember I worked with them
when
years
they
ago.
started out too.
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
the part. I love seeing a lot of these guys popping off and their careers going. Because, you know, right now, the beautiful thing about film, we have a lot of black talent. And that talent is splurging. Like you see, there's so many shows. When you look at Netflix, you got Hulu, you have all these different platforms where they're streaming. You see us on there.
Yeah.
And that right there, I'm be honest with you, it does a lot to me for somebody, even my kids could sit and look and like, oh wow. You know, and that's one of the important things is we could be able to show these kids that we are doing it. We're behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah.
That's something that I pray with this podcast with you can touch the youth and let them know, look, y'all can do this too. Because most of these kids don't understand it. For me personally, I used to be this little kid up on the street, hungry, you know, in the street, rambling, trying to find my way. But now, I see it, so my point of, like I tell my kids, before I leave this earth, I got to give back all this information here. You know, I don't want to be like the architects of Egypt that built the pyramids. They went to their grave with knowledge.
They never gave out. Yeah.
You know, think about it. Today, the architects could not figure out how the hell them damn pyramids still standing up. So can you imagine their mind? I would love to be able to tap in and see where their mind was going. So for me, everything that I learned throughout the course of my 35 years, I want to give it back. And I want to see, I would love to be able to be in heaven and sitting back down looking to see more black people of color gaining from this. Because right now, when you look at this industry, especially think about COVID, we sat home and engaged in TV so much as crazy.
And then let's talk about that, you know, really quickly. That's going to probably be my last question. I wanted to know, how did you navigate during the pandemic, and like, what were some of the challenges that you had to face during the pandemic? Because as you know, whether you're a working actor or working barber, we're used to working around the clock. How did it shift your schedule, and you know, what happened?
It shifted a lot. It's still shifting people's schedule. Like everything in life, you got to adapt. During the pandemic, I was working on, at the time, believe it or not, we were just ending Ghosts. But at the time, I was ending Ghosts, and I was also starting Raising Kanan. So we just were starting the first couple days of Raising Kanan. March 12, boom, we're done. I'm like, oh wow.
March 12 of 2020?
Yeah, March 12, 2020, when they shut everything down. And I remember I was supposed to come in to Steiner Studio, and it was like, it's a wrap, we're not coming in, they're shutting everything down. So pretty much from March 12th, I didn't start back working into, I think it was, I didn't start working until December.
Of 2020?
December 2020. The funny thing is, I started working, and matter of fact, no, November 29th, COVID, December 12th. COVID rocked me. I almost died. I had COVID for 3 months. It tore me out. I mean, I tell you, it tore me out the frame. It even messed with having a large heart in there. 3 months, it killed me. Like literally, broke a rib from coughing. It was, yes, it did me dirty to the point where my heart swelled up. I almost passed away. So.
Oh my God! What do you think? How did you survive that?
Pure willpower and just determination. Like I was coughing, I broke my rib from coughing so much. I would not lay down. I was getting up. I have a pretty large bedroom with an ensuite bathroom in my house, and I told my son, he brought up, I have a Haynes chair with the ottoman. I sat up in that chair. I was looking at CNN, and I was like, I will not lay in that damn bed. That bed ain't gonna get me, because most people that die, they lay on their back. I was like, no, and if I lay in the bed, I was on my side. So I was like, I will not let that bed get me. I got up, I was doing leg lifts, walking around my bedroom, you know, just doing stuff to keep me up.
Yeah.
Because most people, I lost a lot of family members. I lost uncles, everything, cousins. So I was like, nah, this is not gonna get me. So I fought that shit. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna get out of it. As soon as I finished, they cleared me. They called me right, I think it was February 20th. I was back on set.
Back at work.
Back on set. I was on Raising Kanan, doing my thing.
Wow.
I stayed there for a little bit. I left that show. I chilled a little bit and I got what I forgot I did. I get called for a lot of different shows, so I'll come in, do my specialty work, get my bread and leave. So I did that, and I slowed down. I actually started in May. I picked up, and I just went to the movies. But the pandemic slowed up this industry a lot.
Oh yeah.
Where a lot of people got hurt, even with the whole COVID thing, testing and vaccine.
Yeah, you have
That
to do
right
that
now,
to
you got to
work
be
now.
mandated to work. So they messed up a lot because I have a lot of friends that didn't take the vaccine. That these are solid, top-notch people in the industry that do numbers. Now they're not working. Like literally sitting home, broke, barely surviving. And these are some of the top hairstylists and makeup artists in the industry that have a resume even larger than mine underneath them, and they can't get a job now. It's like the industry just turned their back on them. Me personally, I felt that was so foul because you know what? These are the people that made movies in history with you, and to turn your back on was crazy. So when you look at what transpired, it's crazy. This pandemic messed up a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of my people in the industry, I said, listen, they'll tell me like, damn, Shawn, we see you for a couple months, we don't see you. I come in, I put 3 to 6 months in the film, and the rest 6 months, that's in my real estate business. I'm like, listen, I'm always gonna have me an extra stream because this shit go down, I'm floating over here, you feel me? And the funny thing is, before COVID, the film industry was recession proof. I got into the industry in the last recession. 2008, I lost $3 million in real estate. Flat out, bombs, smashed. I was destitute. I was sitting in the building, just finished the building. I'm sitting there, just completed, and I don't got no money to my name. What saved me? The film industry. Doing, what's that? Brooklyn Finest, and then Dark Knight Rising, and then Salt. Those 3 movies at that time saved me and kept me afloat. And I was like, oh, this is some real shit here. Look at the money I'm getting. I was like, listen, okay, I got it. So this was my backup. And I rocked out doing those. And every time I get called, I just run and do that. But then I said, you know what, I'm going to manage both. So the way I do it, where I set myself up in the industry is like, look, I'm going to come give you that set time. You tell me, Shawn, I need you for 3 months. I already set up 3 months I got here. I let my business partners handle the real estate side. And then when I'm off, I go back there. But I pick and choose what I work. That's one thing I just thank God I've been able to do that, to pick and choose certain, projects, because some projects in the film industry also, there's another thing, it's good money and everything, but you have no life.
Because
you're working 16-hour days.
Yeah.
Think about it, you on set 16 hours. You gotta remember, you got time to drive. Sometimes we're upstate, we got 2 hours to come in. You ain't get no sleep. You get home, you be like, bing! Like, shit, I only slept for an hour. That right there is critical to just everything you're doing. You need
guys
rest.
didn't have that turnaround time?
Sometimes you don't get the turnaround time.
Really? So in LA, one thing I will say, they will give us that turnaround time.
They're gonna give it to you, but they don't include your traveling back up.
That doesn't, it's right, because you have to, I didn't know, like,
Yeah,
in New York.
they're not included. They're like, okay, well, see, but you gotta think about it. Some people like, man, scratch that. That's an extra $100 an hour. Think about it. If you get paid 6 hours an hour, by the time you get that double OT, you're getting close to $200 an hour. Like, at the end of the week, you're like, I got a $5,000 check. You ain't gonna be balking.
Right.
I know you lie. Sometimes I'm like, when I see that, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna shut up, take this goddamn check. But when the weekend comes, you be like, man, damn, Sunday here already. And then don't do when you work on Friday over. They call it Friday.
Yeah.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
Because you coming in 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, you sleep the day, you back on work Monday morning early. So it's a lot, but at the same time, it's good to do it while you're young.
Yeah.
And also, I also want to let people out there know that's getting into this industry or want to get in. You have to be mindful you have a family. That's another reason why I pick and choose, because I have kids, I raise my kids, so to be in my kids' life, it ain't easy. Where I got 5 kids over the years.
Oh, wow.
A lot of them didn't see me.
Yeah, you're on
Because I was on set. When you're doing a film, your family don't see you. When you out, I leave the house 4 o'clock in the morning. My kids are asleep.
Yep.
When I come back at night, 7, 9 o'clock, they be asleep too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes, so it's like they only see daddy on the weekend. So for me, I like to be in my kids' life, do things with them. I had to understand, say, you know what? I'm not going to be doing this. So summertime, that's when I get called most of the time from September or October throughout the winter. Summertime, I try to stay away from filming so much. For the simple fact, that's the time I spend with my kids and I do my real estate stuff. So it's just, you have to know how to gauge it. And I tell people, if you're going to be in full time, you ain't got no life. You ain't got no life. You can't even have a relationship. Like, majority of people I know, they single, they don't even have a relationship for the simple fact.
That's another
they
hard.
invest in their time.
That's another thing I would say for people. Like, it works really well when you're single, working in this industry, because like you mentioned,
Definitely.
Your significant other, you rarely get to see them, and then same with having children. So
yeah, you in the set the majority of the time. You're around your crew you working with.
and
So
they
that's
become
why
like family, right?
it's definitely that, because you see them more than you see your family.
Yeah.
Like, I see the cats I work with, after I'm like, I'm tired of seeing you, man, get out my face.
Yeah.
So it's just the ongoing thing. That's the thing with the industry too, is once you meet a bunch of people, you become family, and also you build a good friendship, because most of the business I get is referrals from friends.
Yeah.
It's not like, be honest with you, getting to a union is for you to get into the industry. The union will tell you, they don't give you jobs. So it's all about, that's another thing, about cultivating relationships. So you have to know how to build great relationships and don't burn no bridges. So you can't get blackballed in this industry and you won't work again.
You will not work again.
Real easy. Like, and you get set up for the rope though. You got people in front of your face, they bite back and you like hell to take your position. So I'm very observant and I peep when the negative coming. Get out of here. I'm batting people up all the time for the simple fact. I know when somebody is trying to get close to me and all they're trying to do is either grasp my skill set, figure out what I'm doing, peep what tools, materials I'm doing, products I'm using to try to emulate and do what I do. So you have to be smart also to be on point to say, I'm going to be 6 steps ahead of your ass so you don't do me dirty. But trust me, it's cutthroat business.
It's very much so.
Very cutthroat business, even on the actor side, because a lot of my friends in business are actors and they sit and share with me, and I'm like, man, listen, but you just have to know, the stories is crazy. Like, there's a lot of good with this, but there's also a negative aspect. You just have to set your mindset and say, look, I'm not going to allow that to sway me. Let me come in, do my job, show what I can do, get this bread, build relationships so I can continue doing this. As long as you stay on that path, you're going to have some longevity. And stay out the mix of all the, because a lot of BS around that get you sucked in, and that's when you fall. And I see so many people come in and they be in a chatterbox and they fall and be like, yo, why I can't get no work? That's how you carry yourself. People know me, I'm no nonsense. I tell them I'm like Switzerland. I'm not even involved in none of that shit. Fair game. Leave me alone. Let me do what I gotta do. And then they see it like, okay, I know I can't bring no BS to him because he's not going for it. And you check him at the door, they're gonna leave you alone. But you sit there, you play into it, you're gonna be caught up. And I see some people come in, and it is a culture in the industry. And if you adapt to that culture, you could be lured in and be swayed. You have to be able to be grounded, and that's one of the most important things. You come in and be grounded. Same thing in the music industry. You get in, you're not grounded, it will swallow you up. I came in and I watched and observed so much stuff, and Cat's like, what's up? I'm like, I'm just not that. And then they'll be like, okay, and the same thing in film. Like, yo, this is what I'm about. You gonna respect me? I command and demand respect. That's first and foremost. So you're stepping in front of me. I'm an alpha male to the hardest, so you're not gonna come in play the little trickery because I'm gonna check you. Like, yo, bro, get up out of here. And in the industry I'm at, most people know that, and they're like, nah, don't fucking go. You guys, anybody, they know me. Like, nah, he's not that dude. So they leave me alone, and that there, I think, is a benefit that we have to teach and show the youth coming up. Look, learn to be grounded, stay focused on your path.
I was gonna have you to just emphasize that, because even these upcoming people, young people coming in, or people that are not even young, that's a key factor too, where you said you have to be grounded in this business. You can't be all over the place and doing all of this. You're not gonna have a longevity in this business. So that's a number one key. And then, as you mentioned, your reputation, keeping
It's
a clean
everything.
face. You know, that's so
It's
key.
everything.
I mean, from New York to the West Coast, I'm sure you're able to do business because of the reputation that you have. You know,
They know when they call me, okay, we got somebody that we rely on.
Yeah.
Dependable. You can't be quiet. You come to set and you sitting there off somewhere, you're not doing your job, they calling looking for you.
Right.
When they call me, I'm there. They say, Shawn, we need you on set, we need to cover set. I go cover set. Like if I get called for a job and I tell me, you know what, I can only come and dedicate getting the actor to a certain degree, but I gotta go. Most of my friends respect me on that because they know, okay, Shawn's gonna be able to come and create the look for me. Even if I come and create a look for them, I will find a replacement to come in like, yo, follow the look I did. You hold it down. But they call me to create it, I'm like, okay, boom, just follow this. And I bounce and I let him eat and do the separate. And, you know, I've done that, and my man, Sharky, done it for me numerous times. We do that for each other all day. Like, you look him up, Sharky Moody, Dwayne Sharky Moody. We work together, and it's like baseball. We be pitching each other all day, yo. First base, second base, back and forth. And we've been keeping each other afloat for years. But all we've been speaking about is, okay, let's get more brothers in it so we can throw the ball around to everybody. And that's the sweet thing about this business. There's no need for being greedy. There's 60, 70 movies going on at one time, especially in these studios. Broadway Studios is back in Greenpoint. Luke Cage, you know how much of that Marvel stuff was filmed at the same time? Madam Secretary, NBC, Law and Order, all that's filmed there at the same time. We be sitting there running, hey, what's up, what you want? I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. It's so much for you to make money on, and then you think about a lot of these movies are male cast dominant.
Wow.
So think about how many barbers, like, I'll be honest with you, I turn down work because I can't do it. Hey, Shawn, we need you over there. The department head from Power, she was calling me for like 2 years before I started with them.
Wow.
But I was always busy. I'm with Spike, I'm with here, I'm here and there. And she was like, damn. I was like, shit, you know, these are people that rock with me.
Yeah.
And once I finally got over there, I gave them my time to work. So it's, hey, look, like you said, share my information. I'm always going to help anyone. I will never sit back and hold anyone back for the simple fact. I know once I step down, there are great people that before me that hand it down. You know, I have mentors in this business, and that's another good thing too. When you get in the business, you must find you a mentor, brother, sister that's going to help you. I give a shout out to Nathan Bush. This is a brother when I first came in on Brooklyn Finance. I didn't even know how to write an invoice out. They tell you, hey, okay, we're going to go and cut here for the posted movie screen. They're trying to feed me, I think it was $700.
Oh, wow.
They didn't tell me don't set that. I was about to set it. I'm like, $700, shit, all right. All I did that day for Eddie Murphy is did 4 brushstrokes. I'm like this. And his hair was just as low as mine.
And
So I was like,
$700.
$700. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
6,000.
You made $6,000 initially?
1,500.
Wow.
$6,000. I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Yes.
When Nathan told me that, I said, yeah, I got to stick with you.
Yes.
Man, I was on that man like a polyester suit. I was like,
That's
yo,
phenomenal.
feed me everything I know.
So that's important to get you said the mentor.
You need a
right?
mentor. In this industry, you got to find someone, first, that's solid, that's not no envy, bull, BS, no ego. And if that he or she can take you and show you how to maneuver,
show you the ropes.
It's the key. You need the ropes to understand because you're your own boss in the industry. You're an independent contractor, so you know how you have to learn how to charge. Because you can get in this industry, then they'll have you cutting the stars and you all this and that, but they'll suck you and give you a lower rate. A sucker rate. But if you know what you know, like right now, Showtime Stars, they know me. What? I love email. Check my resume, check my history. Go to Showtime, ask them how much I charge, and they be like, oh, I can't mess with them. But then I'll be like, the actor be like, I want you. They're like, tell them I ain't doing it for that, but I do it for this. Actor go back and tell them, yo, you gotta pay him this is who I want. They get the money in. They're sitting with major money.
Yeah,
and they're trying to tell you pay the peanuts. So I'm like, yo, I got him looking the way he need be so this show could sit.
Yes.
So
well,
there's
Shawn,
a lot.
I gotta thank you because this interview was very informative. I mean, it was also powerful. You gave your story, but you also gave great tools for the audience. Before we close out, I want you to give them your social handles and where they can contact you. You mentioned about maybe, you know, in the future doing your own courses. So please give your contact information and your social handles before we close out, please.
Well, you guys can DM me through Instagram, which is Grooming by Shaun, GROOMING BYSHAUN. You'll hit me up there. You can see some of the stuff I did. Not a lot of my stuff is there, but you can go IMDb me. You see all my.
You're on IMDb?
Oh yes, I'm on there.
I gotta track you.
You just look up Shawn Perkins. You'll see.
Okay.
And I'm still loading. Like
okay.
I'm so behind. To be honest with you.
Same.
If you look at my stuff, you can like this guy did stuff, but I got inventory.
Wow.
I got photos from everybody I touch. I make sure I get a photo of them and I display my work. So I got from when I started all the way to now. So I've been, like I said, doing a long time. Half the TV shows you see on TV, Blind Spot, you know, it's Madam Said. It's so many shows that I've done.
Wow.
FBI, but I didn't even post it because I go on, I do it, and I run to the next, and then I get caught up on my real estate stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just learning social media. My 17-year-old daughter taught me how to do it a few years ago. I didn't know how to do it Instagram, so I'm just learning. So at some point, I'm getting better. So you'll see some of my posts where it may not even fit right, but shit.
You're trying,
I'm trying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm 50 years old. I don't be dealing with that. I don't even be on social media like that. I'm being honest with you.
No, it's okay.
I have Facebook, and a friend set up for me about 10 years ago, and I don't even go on. People like, yo, I'm sending you messages. I'm like, call me. I'm old school. Hit me with a call, voicemail, or send me a text message. I'm good.
Yeah, definitely.
But like once again, they can check me on Instagram and just send me a message. I definitely respond back and give any advice I can, especially when I get into business because it's open season. You know, the union opened up to get more barbers in. I love to see more barbers in. Me and a few cats that we're in the industry, we're looking to set up our own private barbering class to teach etiquette. And also for the guys trying to get in, we're going to set up a class where they can come to our class and we show them everything and train them how to do the hair pieces, beards. You know, we do everything. It's not just barbering. You know, we do makeup. We do barbering makeup where actually you don't have a hairline, I can give you a beard right now. And it looks real. Cool. So people look like, oh damn, this dude put a beard on. Your husband, I'll put that on you. I'm dead serious. So that's what we do. You know, we transform, and that's the part of creating what we do. It's art. You know, for me, I'm an artist. I've been drawing and painting since I was 3. Wow. So to be in this industry and to take a guy come in and he's bald headed and I put an afro wig or whatever.
He's actually bald headed, so we should definitely one day
matter of fact, one day you have me, I'll set up, I'll bring my kid.
Yeah,
and I give him a whole flat top with a fade and everything.
Oh, that'd
be like,
so awesome.
You be like, no, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
If you check my Instagram, you can see I have video.
I'm gonna
rails.
check. Because I'm gonna tag you on everything that we post today. So I'm definitely gonna follow you and stay updated with you. But Shawn, I want to thank you so much because I know that you came and you showed up. You kept your word. You're a very busy man, but I have to thank you so much for being my first interview back. You know, I'm back to doing the show, so I'm excited. And thank you so much for all the jewels and the wisdom. And it was a lot. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and you can be sure to catch this video on youtube.com/Lakithia. Thank you and bye.
Take care, everyone.